Hi, my name is Chris West. This is my presentation on high intensity interval training and its benefits to the runtimes and VO2 max. For this, a little bit of background is that there's been studies that have shown high intensity interval training workouts have been successful in adults, as well as programs that, or a program that was implemented in a secondary school. Um, and then the high intensity interval training actually works better with adolescent movement. If we think of adolescent movement, we know sometimes we see kids will run to an object, or they will run to achieve a specific goal, but then they stop. So high intensity interval training kind of fits into that idea of we're going to raise our heart rate really quickly, and then from there we stop and rest for a little bit, and then we go back and raise it again. Introduction continue here. The issue we have today is that more children are getting away from playing outside and exercising because of the electronics, video games, everything else. They are more um, interested in staying indoors rather than being physically active. Physical education programs are set to follow the standard. However, the standards are not what is tested. What I mean by that is the standards are tested by the teacher, obviously. However, the state, when scores are recorded for anything or tests are given, the state isn't worried about whether a student can throw a football, if they can catch a football, or if they're able to throw and catch a frisbee, if they can participate in a sport together. These are not things that the state is worried about. They're worried about the fitness levels of the students. So in order to find a more engaging way to keep students active, we need a more effective way of developing quality fitness related sport skill instruction. So high intensity interval training is an effective training method, but would it be for a school PE program? And what I wanted to know is if we implement that with the sports skill instruction, would it be an effective enough program to help the students find success on their mile and fitness testing at the end of the year? So would high intensity interval training implemented into the regular sports skill instruction be beneficial to improving student runtime and VO2 max? This is the hypothesis. Null hypothesis would say that it will not have an effect on the success of the mile test or on the fitness gram test. And the hypothesis then would be that if I integrate this into it, the high intensity interval training will benefit the physical education program and show success on the mile test as well as their VO2 max. For this, the methods used. Participants are going to be 20 students, 7th grade students ranging from 11 to 13 years of age, split 10 male and 10 female. What we would do is, following the California Physical Education Standards, the students will be learning sport-related skills. Mixed into those lessons would be short 20 to 30 second bursts of high-intensity exercise. And then they would go back to a 1 to 5 minute low-intensity skill practice. So the lesson would include the sports skill itself, and as they're working through developing that skill, practicing and learning the skill, they would also implement some sort of way to use that skill in a high intensity 20 to 30 second burst. This would allow to raise the heart rate and use that high intensity exercise. For this, we'd need sports equipment. During the running, we would need timers, and then we would also need scale and measuring tape for height and weight to be used as well. All of these would go into to be used to figure out VO2 max along with the run times, so that we would have both scores. For this, we're going to use a independent t-test. or we use the independent t-test, and the proposed hypothesis is tested at an alpha level of 0.05. After collecting the data, what was shown there was a small improvement in the run times as well as the VO2 max, but not a huge difference. So in that, after we ran the test, we had a p-value of basically a 0.82. This is allowing us to see that there's a low probability that the hypothesis is true, and therefore we cannot say that it's the best option for improving student scores. There's little data, or a shorter period of time, so the data doesn't give enough to show a large improvement, a large enough effect on the student to show that this is going to be the most effective way. So I can't disprove the null hypothesis, and I can't say that it is the most effective or best option. So in conclusion for this, there is a need for more research. Most of the other studies that I looked at, there was also the same. They're too short of a period of time, so there's not enough information to base saying that the high intensity interval training is the best method. So I'm saying that we need further research on this associated with the high intensity use with adolescent. In the future, there needs to be a longer period of time. We need to be able to collect more data to be able to see the true effects of the program. So a longer period of time will allow to have a larger impact on the daily routine of the physical education program. They would be able to fall into the routine a little easier over time, which would, I believe, would help then find more success within that program. There should also be a group that is not involved in the high intensity interval training in order to be able to compare and see if there really truly is a difference in the success rates or the improvement in those scores from the high intensity interval training as opposed to a regular everyday physical education program. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.